Prop 36 allows felony charges for possessing certain drugs and for thefts under $950 if defendant has 2 prior drug or theft convictions. So a way of correcting parts of 2014's Prop 47, which downgraded many crimes that dealt with drugs and theft from felonies to misdemeanors. If someone is caught stealing items of value less than $950, they could be charged with a felony if they had 2 prior theft convictions. This also brings about a charge of a treatment mandatory felony instead of a misdemeanor for some drug charges. Those who don't finish treatment can serve up to 3 years in state prison. This also requires the court to warn people charged with selling drugs that they can be charged with murder if any of their drug sales lead to death. The pros. The explosion in retail theft has caused stores across California to raise prices, lock up items, and close their doors. This would increase the penalties. Tougher penalties for fentanyl trafficking, tougher prosecution of serial thieves, and enforced drug treatment. The cons. This proposition is too extreme. Theft of something as small as a candy bar can lead to prison if the perpetrator has prior convictions. This will drive up prison costs and overburden an already strained prison system. This will strip millions away from dedicated funding that is spent on rehab, rehabilitation, and services for crime victims, and it will expand the state prison budget instead. This will take money from public safety, victims, and treatment programs that stop repeat offending.
This is a very tough one and a very impactful one.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that we were talking about when we were talking about this earlier was because this is a response to Prop 47 from 2014, is this a situation where we went way too far in one direction and now we're going to go way too far in the other direction? And so we have to ask ourselves the question, is there a way to do this in a moderate way, or do we really need to, how far down the road are we going to this? And 10 years from now, are we going to say, whoa, we went too far?
That's probably going to happen back and forth.
Yeah.
For a lot of things that we vote on.
Yes.
But I know right now, like, people are fed up with all the crime and having to, ring a buzzer to get soap, So I don't know what the answer is, but I know people are fed up with the crime that's happening. And I didn't realize it's been 10 years since Prop 47 and that. So it's been over a 10-year course that we've been getting to the point that we're at right now.
Yeah. And, maybe as these laws and ballot measures are passed, what needs to happen is just adjustments here and there, because maybe Prop 47 was a great idea and it just needed some adjustments. Mm-hmm. And maybe if some of those adjustments were made, we wouldn't be in this circumstance right now. But is this one of these things where we're going to go all the way back to what we didn't want in 2014? So that's just some of the things to think about. Right.
Because then we'll be complaining about how much it costs to, add all of these prisoners.
Yes.
When there's no prevention piece, I don't think, in there. I'd like to see more prevention. I don't know what that looks like, but I think that would be helpful, so that in 10 years we're not trying to reevaluate this again.
Yeah.
But here we are. This is what we need to vote on. And I know a lot of people are out there angry, and I myself, I don't feel as safe as I felt, previously. So I do understand that this is something we need to think about very carefully. And
I would honestly challenge a lot of Californians. I wasn't here 10 years ago, but I challenge Californians to actually go back in their mind to 2014 and think about how they were feeling and what led to Prop 47 in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And is this just a correction? Do you feel like this is a correction? Do you feel like this is an overcorrection? And kind of go from there, because if 2014 was so bad that you had Prop 47, do you want to totally reverse it, or do you want to make more measured improvements or changes and things of that nature? Do you want to go from we don't lock up anybody back to where we lock up everybody, it's
Yeah.
so
And I'm sure that's even if you feel like, no, I don't want to go back to locking up everyone, but I want to see the crime cleaned up.
yes.
So if you vote, this doesn't pass, you're like, how long is it going to take if it took 10 years for us to figure this out, like that we needed something a little stronger, we're hoping that we're not going to take that long again to fix a problem. So,
but
keep all that in mind.
Yeah, but people here in California, which, I live here now, and there's a legitimate reason to want change.
Right.
The question is, what type of change, how much of it, and are we going to go back to something we didn't like? So it's really about trying to figure that out.
Absolutely.